Number 10. Greek fire represents one of history's most authenticated examples of a revolutionary military technology that vanished completely, taking its secrets to the grave. Between the 7th and 12th centuries, the Byzantine Empire possessed a weapon so devastating that it single-handedly preserved their civilization against overwhelming odds. This incendiary substance could burn on water, ignite instantly upon contact with enemy vessels, and continue burning with an intensity that made conventional firefighting methods useless. The weapon was deployed through specialized bronze tubes mounted on Byzantine warships, creating jets of liquid fire that could destroy entire enemy fleets. Arab chroniclers describe the terror of facing Greek fire, writing that the sea itself seemed to burn when Byzantine ships appeared. The substance was so effective that enemy forces would often retreat rather than risk encountering the mysterious burning liquid. What made Greek fire extraordinary wasn't just its military effectiveness, but the absolute secrecy surrounding its composition. The formula was known only to the imperial family and a select group of chemists in Constantinople who inherited their knowledge from the legendary scientific schools of Alexandria. Production was controlled exclusively by the imperial court, and revealing the secret carried a death sentence. The weapon's impact on history cannot be overstated. Greek fire enabled the Byzantine Empire to survive Arab sieges, Viking raids, and countless naval invasions that would have otherwise destroyed Constantinople. The technology was so crucial to imperial defense that its possession was attributed to divine intervention, making it not just a military weapon, but a symbol of imperial legitimacy. Yet despite Greek fire disappeared entirely its importance from the historical record after the decline of the Byzantine Empire. The knowledge that had been carefully guarded for centuries simply vanished, leaving modern scientists to speculate about its composition. Analysis suggests the substance was likely a sophisticated combination of petroleum, quicklime, sulfur, that chemicals created a reaction capable of burning on water, butyr, and other. The exact formula remains unknown. The mystery deepens when we consider that capturing Greek fire was a priority for every enemy of Byzantium. Arab forces, Vikings, and later the Ottoman Turks all attempted to steal or reverse engineer, yet the technology none succeeded. This suggests that Greek fire's composition was far more complex than simple petroleum mixtures, requiring specialized knowledge and production techniques that couldn't be replicated through observation attempts alone. Modern to recreate Greek fire have produced substances that burn on water, but none achieve the legendary effectiveness described in historical accounts. The closest modern equivalent is napalm, developed during World War II, which means humanity went nearly 8 centuries without possessing incendiary technology as advanced as what the Byzantines had perfected in the 7th century. Stanley Meyer's water-powered car represents one of the most controversial alleged suppressed inventions of the modern era, combining revolutionary technology with a mysterious death that fueled conspiracy theories for decades. In the 1980s, this Ohio inventor claimed to have developed a revolutionary electric car that could run entirely on water, using a process he called the water fuel cell to split H2O into hydrogen and oxygen for combustion. Meyer's technology promised to eliminate humanity's dependence on fossil fuels by converting ordinary tap water into enough hydrogen fuel to power vehicles across the country. The only emission from his engine would be clean water vapor, creating a completely pollution-free transportation system that could be refueled with a garden hose. He spent 20 years developing his water fuel cell technology, eventually securing patents that proved his invention worked reliably enough to meet official review board standards. Demonstrations of Meyer's water-powered car drew international attention and significant investment interest. The vehicle could allegedly travel from coast to coast, using only water as fuel, representing a breakthrough that would revolutionize the automotive industry while eliminating environmental pollution from transportation. Independent witnesses confirmed that Meyer's car operated using only water, producing the power necessary for normal driving without any conventional fuel source. The scientific principles behind Meyer's invention involved advanced electrolysis techniques that could separate water molecules using far less electrical energy than conventional methods required. His water fuel cell created a resonance effect that broke the molecular bonds holding hydrogen and oxygen together, then fed these gases directly into a modified internal combustion engine for immediate use. However, Meyer's claims faced immediate skepticism from the scientific establishment. Critics argued that his water fuel cell violated fundamental laws of thermodynamics by appearing to create more energy than it consumed. The process of splitting water into hydrogen requires substantial electrical input, and burning that hydrogen in an engine cannot produce more energy than was used to create it, making Meyer's claims appear to describe a perpetual motion machine. Despite these scientific objections, Meyer continued developing his technology and seeking commercial partnerships. He attracted investors from around the world who were impressed by his demonstrations and convinced that his water-powered car represented genuine breakthrough technology. Patent documentation and witness testimonies suggested that Meyer had indeed created something extraordinary, even if the underlying physics remained poorly understood. Tesla's earthquake machine stands as perhaps the most terrifying example of an invention so dangerous that destroyed it itself rather than risk its misuse. In 1898, Nikola Tesla developed a mechanical oscillator that could generate resonant vibrations powerful enough to shake buildings apart and potentially trigger earthquakes across vast areas. The device was deceptively simple, measuring only 7 inches long and weighing less than 2 pounds. Tesla described it as something you could carry in your overcoat pocket, yet capable of generating mechanical oscillations that could synchronize with the natural frequency of any structure and shake it to pieces. The oscillator worked by applying precisely timed mechanical pulses that built up resonance effects, much like pushing a swing at exactly the right moment to make it go higher and higher. Tesla's experiments with the oscillator at his Houston Street laboratory in Manhattan produced terrifying results. During one test session, the device began generating resonant vibrations in the surrounding buildings, causing heavy machinery to fly around his workshop and nearby structures to shake violently. Police and ambulance crews rushed to the area as residents reported what felt like an earthquake centered on Tesla's laboratory. Eyeing that, his oscillator was approaching the resonant frequency of the building itself. Tesla grabbed a hammer and destroyed the machine just minutes before the entire structure would have collapsed. He later claimed that given enough time and the proper placement, his oscillator could split the Earth like an apple by triggering resonant vibrations in the planet's crust. The implications of Tesla's earthquake machine were staggering. A device capable of generating seismic activity could level cities, trigger natural disasters, or serve as the ultimate weapon of mass destruction. Tesla himself recognized the terrifying potential of his invention and made the decision to destroy it rather than allow such destructive power to exist. Word of Tesla's earthquake machine spread through scientific and military circles, but rather than generating enthusiasm, it created fear. Government officials and potential investors realized that a portable device capable of causing earthquakes represented a threat too dangerous for any individual to possess. Funding for further development was refused, and Tesla found himself unable to continue his oscillator research. Tesla attempted to interest various organizations in the peaceful applications of his oscillator technology, including its potential use in construction and mining operations. He aimed that could break visioned machines apart rock formations for excavation or demolish unwanted structures with surgical precision. The oscillator could theoretically accomplish in minutes what conventional explosives required hours to achieve, while producing far less collateral damage. Military applications were obvious but terrifying. Tesla's oscillator could potentially disable enemy fortifications, destroy bridges and railways, or even trigger landslides in strategic locations. A single agent carrying the pocket-sized device could theoretically cripple an entire city's infrastructure by targeting key structural supports and allowing Resondo the rest. the inventorance to himself became increasingly concerned about the implications of his creation. Tesla realized that his oscillator represented a form of warfare that could make conventional armies obsolete, while giving unprecedented power to whoever possessed the technology. Unlike explosives or firearms, the oscillator required no ammunition and left no forensic evidence, making it the perfect for weapon covert operations. Tesla's notes describe experiments where the oscillator could shatter glass windows blocks away from his laboratory, crack foundation walls in neighboring buildings, and even affect underground pipes and electrical systems. The device seemed to tap into fundamental vibrational properties of matter that could propagate through solid materials over vast distances, amplifying its effects far beyond what its small size would suggest possible. By 1900, Tesla had stopped all research into mechanical oscillation and refused to discuss the technology publicly. When pressed by reporters about his earthquake machine, he would only say that some inventions were too dangerous for humanity's current moral development. The complete technical specifications for the oscillator died with Tesla, ensuring that this weapon, OFD in history mass destruction, remained buried. Maurice Ward's Starlight represents one of the most frustrating examples of revolutionary technology lost due to inventor paranoia and business stubbornness. In 1990, this British hairdresser from Hartlepool demonstrated a heat-resistant material that could withstand temperatures exceeding 10,000 degrees Celsius while producing no toxic fumes, a combination that seemed to defy the laws of physics. Ward's invention was inspired by the 1985 Manchester airport disaster, where 55 passengers died in 40 seconds due to toxic smoke inhalation rather than direct fire damage. Determined to create it burn, or a material that wouldn't gases, Ward began deadly experimenting with various chemical combinations in his garage, mixing up to 20 different formulations daily using what he casually called gubbins. The breakthrough came when Ward discovered a mixture that not only resisted extreme heat, but actually improved its protective properties when exposed to high temperatures. Starlight formed an expanding carbon foam barrier that insulated whatever lay beneath, creating a thermal shield that became more effective as conditions became more severe. Television demonstrations of Starlight captured international attention when Ward coated a raw egg with the material and subjected it to direct blowtorch flame. The egg remained completely uncooked, despite being exposed to temperatures that should have instantly carbonized it. Even more impressive, Starlight showed no signs of melting, burning, or structural failure under conditions that would destroy conventional, heat-resistant materials. The British Atomic Weapons Establishment invited Ward to test Starlight under laboratory conditions designed to simulate nuclear flash effects cables. Coated with the material, were subjected to laser bombardment and energy sources reaching 10,000 degrees Celsius. When testing concluded, Starlight showed only tiny surface pits with no indication of melting or structural compromise, leading scientists to conclude they had encountered thermal barrier properties unlike anything previously known. NASA expressed serious interest in Starlight for spacecraft heat shield applications, recognizing that the material could solve critical problems with space shuttle thermal protection systems. Boeing and other aerospace manufacturers began negotiations with Ward, seeing potential applications ranging from aircraft fire protection to industrial safety systems. However, Ward's business approach proved to be Starlight's downfall: engineering. Paranoid about reverse, he refused to patent the material because doing so would require revealing its composition. He demanded 51% ownership of any commercial venture, while insisting that the formula remain exclusively with him, expecting partners to invest millions in technology they could never own, control, or even understand. Ward's intransigence extended to testing protocols, where he would only allow organizations to examine small samples under strict conditions and limited timeframes. He refused to permit extended analysis or retention of specimens, making it impossible for potential partners to conduct the comprehensive evaluation necessary for commercial development. The inventor's asking price continually changed during negotiations, and his increasingly difficult behavior eventually drove away every major organization that had initially shown interest. NASA, Boeing, the British military, and various industrial manufacturers all walked away from discussions due to Ward's impossible business terms and secretive approach. Maurice Ward died in 2011, having never successfully commercialized Starlight, despite its revolutionary properties. The complete formulation for this potentially world-changing material apparently died with him, representing a catastrophic loss to materials science, aerospace engineering, and fire safety technology. Since Ward's death, numerous attempts have been made to recreate Starlight using clues from his rare interviews and demonstration footage. Amateur scientists and professional researchers have developed materials with similar heat-resistant properties, but none have achieved the extraordinary performance characteristics that made Starlight unique. The story of flexible Roman glass illustrates how economic fears can lead to the deliberate destruction of revolutionary technology, even in ancient times. According to historical accounts by Petronius, during the reign of Emperor Tiberius, an anonymous inventor created a type of glass that could bend without breaking, representing a material science breakthrough that was 2,000 years ahead of its time. The inventor demonstrated his flexible glass by presenting Tiberius with a drinking bowl made from the mysterious material. When to impact the bowl was subject testing. It dented rather than shattering, then was easily repaired with a small hammer that the inventor carried in his toga. The demonstration proved that this glass possessed properties completely unlike any material known to Roman technology. Recognizing the revolutionary implications of flexible glass, the inventor swore to Tiberius that he alone knew the manufacturing technique. This confession sealed his fate, as the emperor immediately ordered the man's execution to prevent the technology from spreading. The decision was motivated by economic calculations rather than technical limitations, as Tiberius feared that unbreakable glass would destabilize existing industries. The emperor's concerns were economically sound from his perspective. Flexible glass would have eliminated the entire Roman glassmaking industry by creating products that never needed replacement. More significantly, Tiberius worried that the new material might become more valuable than gold and silver, potentially destabilizing the empire's monetary system and disrupting established trade relationships. This ancient example of technological suppression reveals that the pattern of eliminating breakthrough innovations to protect existing economic structures has been occurring throughout human history. The destruction of flexible glass technology represents one of the earliest documented cases where revolutionary capabilities were sacrificed to preserve established profit disrue margins. Prevention. Modern materials economic has only science and recently developed glass. What alternatives with inventor, allegedly the Roman flexibility approaching achieved? Shape memory alloys, advanced polymers, and composite materials can bend without breaking. But these of scientific rediscover principles, advancement to technologies required centuries that may have been known and deliberately destroyed during the Roman Empire. The suppression of flexible glass technology demonstrates how breakthrough innovations have been eliminated economic structures. Fed throughout history, whenever they threatened establish Roman Empire's decision to execute the inventor and destroy his knowledge, created a precedent that would be repeated countless times across subsequent millennia, ensuring that revolutionary technologies remained buried to protect existing profit margins. The Antikythera mechanism reveals evidence that ancient civilizations possessed technological knowledge far more advanced than historians previously believed possible. Discovered by sponge divers off the Greek island of Antikythera in 1901, this corroded bronze device appeared to be nothing more than ancient debris until researchers realized they were examining the remains of an analog computer built around 100 BCE. The mechanism's complexity defied everything archaeologists thought they knew about ancient Greek technology. X-ray analysis revealed a sophisticated system of bronze gears capable of tracking the movements of the sun, moon, and planets with mathematical precision that wouldn't be seen again for over a millennium. The device could predict eclipses decades in advance, follow the complex lunar cycles used in Greek calendars, and even track the 4-year Olympic Games schedule. What made the Antikythera mechanism truly extraordinary wasn't just its astronomical capabilities, but the advanced engineering principles required for its construction. The device incorporated differential gearing, a technology that historians believed wasn't invented until the 16th century. Its eclipse prediction system used calculations requiring knowledge of lunar orbital variations that weren't officially discovered until Johannes Kepler's work in the 17th century. Analysis of the construction techniques revealed that the mechanism wasn't built by multiple craftsmen over time, but designed by a single brilliant engineer who possessed knowledge that shouldn't have existed in the ancient world. The precision of the gear ratios, the sophistication of the astronomical calculations, and the elegance of the mechanical solutions all pointed to a mind that understood both advanced mathematics and precision engineering at a level not seen again for over 1,000 years. Recent research using advanced imaging technology has revealed even more impossible aspects of the device. The mechanism originally contained functions for tracking all known planetary movements and predicting their positions decades in advance. This required understanding of planetary orbital mechanics that wasn't discovered until the work of Copernicus, Kepler, and Newton centuries later. The mathematical principles embedded in the device included concepts that wouldn't be formally developed until the Renaissance. The gear ratios used approximations of irrational numbers demonstrating advanced number theory, while the mechanical solutions showed engineering principles that anticipated clockwork developments that were still centuries away when the device was created. Perhaps most disturbing is what happened to this knowledge after the mechanism was built. The Antikythera device represents a level of technological sophistication that vanished completely from the historical record. No other ancient Greek artifacts show similar complexity, and the mathematical and engineering knowledge required for its construction seems to have disappeared without trace. The implications are staggering. Someone with knowledge of astronomy, mathematics, and precision engineering that wouldn't be rediscovered for more than a millennium created this device in ancient Greece, then vanished from history. The technology represents capabilities so advanced that it suggests either time travel or the existence of a lost civilization with scientific knowledge far beyond what conventional archaeology acknowledges. Leonardo da Vinci's private notebooks contain designs and concepts that wouldn't become reality for centuries after his death, raising troubling questions about where his advanced knowledge originated. While history remembers him as a Renaissance genius ahead of his time, closer examination reveals technical understanding so precise and sophisticated that it defies explanation through conventional historical analysis. In his Codex Atlanticus, Leonardo sketched detailed engineering blueprints for helicopters, submarines, tanks, parachutes, and flying machines with internal combustion engines. These weren't vague conceptual drawings, but precise specifications demonstrating deep understanding of aerodynamics, hydraulics, and mechanical engineering principles that wouldn't be formally understood for centuries. His helicopter design incorporated principles of lift and torque that weren't discovered until Sir George Cayley's 19th century work on flight dynamics. His anatomical studies showed impossible accuracy for someone working without modern medical knowledge, including detailed drawings of heart valve function and blood circulation that preceded William Harvey's discoveries by over a century. Most puzzling are Leonardo's designs for machines incorporating technologies that didn't exist during the Renaissance. His sketches included ball bearings, internal combustion engines, and steam turbines, along with flying machine designs demonstrating sophisticated understanding of wing loading, center of gravity, and control surfaces that required centuries of aviation development to achieve. Leonardo's military inventions proved equally anachronistic. His tank designs featured sloped armor for deflecting projectiles and gear systems suggesting knowledge of automotive transmission principles. His fortress designs incorporated angular bastions and overlapping defensive fields that wouldn't become standard military architecture until gunpowder warfare was well advanced. Even more mysterious were his astronomical observations. Leonardo's notebooks contained references to Jupiter's phases and Earth's moons, Venus's rotation, knowledge that wouldn't be available until Galileo's telescopic observations nearly a century later. His sketches showed accurate depictions of lunar craters and what appeared to be observations of Saturn's rings, phenomena beyond Renaissance optical capabilities. Analysis of Leonardo's notebooks reveals a disturbing pattern. Many of advanced concepts his most appeared suddenly in his work with no developmental sketches or experimental phases, as if he possessed complete knowledge of how these technologies functioned and was simply documenting them for posterity. The handwriting analysis of these sections showed subtle differences from Leonardo's normal script, suggesting they were copied from another source rather than original thoughts. The mathematical calculations accompanying his designs used techniques and formulas that wouldn't be developed until Newton and Leibniz created calculus centuries later. Leonardo's technical documentation read less like experimental invention and more like engineering manuals describing technologies he had already seen in operation. The suppression of brilliant innovations continues into modern times with technologies so revolutionary that their very existence threatens established power structures. The pattern remains consistent across centuries and continents. Breakthrough inventions are demonstrated to credible witnesses, attract significant interest from major organizations, then mysteriously disappear along with their creators through equipment confiscation, patent seizure, legal harassment, and often suspicious deaths. These erased inventions represent more than lost opportunities for technological advancement. They provide evidence of systematic suppression designed to maintain artificial scarcity and technological dependence that benefits existing industries. The innovations that could have eliminated energy shortages, cured diseases, revolutionized transportation, and solved environmental challenges exist but remain hidden in classified facilities or destroyed entirely. The technologies documented here prove that human capability isn't limited by scientific possibility, but by economic permission. Revolutionary solutions to humanity's greatest problems have been repeatedly developed and systematically eliminated to preserve profit margins built on inferior alternatives that require continuous consumption and replacement. The world we inhabit isn't the result of natural technological evolution, but deliberate choices made by those who benefit from maintaining artificial limitations on human progress. The suppressed inventions reveal that breakthrough technologies capable of transforming civilization have existed for decades, or even centuries, buried to protect industries that profit from scarcity, dependence, and planned obsolescence. What makes these suppressed technologies particularly disturbing is the consistent methodology used to eliminate them from public knowledge. Each case follows an identical pattern that reveals the systematic nature of technological suppression. Inventors demonstrate revolutionary capabilities to credible witnesses, attract legitimate scientific interest, then face coordinated campaigns designed to discredit their work and eliminate their research. The suppression begins with patent interference, where applications for breakthrough technologies are immediately classified under national security orders or rejected on technical grounds that ignore actual functionality. This prevents inventors from legally protecting their innovations while simultaneously alerting authorities to potentially disruptive technologies that require elimination. Financial warfare follows patent suppression, with inventors finding themselves unable to secure funding for further development. Banks refuse loans, investors withdraw support, and potential partners abandon negotiations after receiving pressure from unnamed sources. The economic isolation ensures that revolutionary technologies cannot reach commercial development regardless of their technical merits. Legal harassment represents the next phase of suppression, with inventors facing lawsuits, regulatory violations, and criminal charges that drain their resources and prevent continued research. The legal system becomes weaponized against breakthrough technologies, creating endless bureaucratic obstacles that make development impossible while maintaining plausible deniability about deliberate suppression. Equipment confiscation marks the final stage before complete elimination, with federal agents seizing research materials, prototypes, and documentation under various pretenses, ranging from safety violations to national security concerns. The confiscated materials disappear into classified facilities, where they remain permanently inaccessible to public scrutiny or independent verification. The fate of inventors themselves reveals the most sinister aspect of technological suppression. Those who refuse to abandon their research or surrender their technologies face systematic persecution that escalates from harassment to mysterious deaths. The pattern is so consistent across different time periods and geographical locations that coincidence becomes statistically impossible. Dr. Eugene Malov discovered cold fusion technology that could provide unlimited clean energy at virtually no cost, threatening the entire fossil fuel industry. His research demonstrated nuclear reactions occurring at room temperature using simple laboratory equipment, proving that cheap, abundant energy was scientifically achievable. Malov was beaten to death in 2004 under circumstances that investigators deemed suspicious but not criminal. Inventor Troy Reed developed magnetic motors that generated electrical power without external energy input, violating conventional physics while providing demonstrable free energy capabilities. His devices operated continuously without fuel or maintenance, suggesting breakthrough understanding of magnetic field interactions that could revolutionize power generation. Reed died in a suspicious car accident after refusing to sell his technology to undisclosed buyers. The suppression extends beyond individual inventors to entire research programs that threaten established industries. The Pentagon's Defense Intelligence Agency maintains active suppression operations targeting breakthrough technologies that could destabilize existing economic structures, regardless of their potential benefits to humanity. Project Looking Glass investigated temporal manipulation technologies that could provide access to future information, threatening intelligence agencies that rely on information monopolies for political control. Research facilities were closed, and scientists reassigned after achieving preliminary success with timeline viewing capabilities that proved too dangerous for government oversight. The Montauk Project explored consciousness, manipulation, reality, and alteration technologies that could control human perception and memory on a massive scale. Experiments successfully demonstrated the ability to alter past events and modify individual memories, capabilities that posed existential threats to established power structures. The program was terminated and all evidence destroyed after researchers achieved breakthrough results. Government suppression of revolutionary technologies operates through classified programs that most elected officials never learn about, ensuring that technological elimination occurs without democratic oversight or public accountability. These black projects possess unlimited funding and legal immunity, making them capable of eliminating any technology regardless of its potential benefits to society. The suppression apparatus includes specialized teams trained in technology acquisition and inventor neutralization, operating under cover identities within legitimate scientific organizations. These agents identify breakthrough technologies during the patent application process, academic conferences, and industry demonstrations, then coordinate elimination efforts through seemingly unrelated government agencies. International cooperation ensures that technological suppression transcends national boundaries, with intelligence agencies sharing information about breakthrough technologies and coordinating elimination efforts across multiple countries. This prevents inventors from escaping suppression by relocating to different nations or seeking protection from foreign governments. The systematic nature of technological suppression becomes clear when examining the infrastructure required to maintain it across decades and continents. Suppression operations require extensive networks of informants within scientific institutions, patent offices, investment firms, and media organizations to identify and eliminate breakthrough technologies before they can achieve public awareness. Academic institutions play crucial roles in technological suppression by controlling research funding, publication opportunities, and career advancement for scientists working on revolutionary technologies. Researchers who achieve breakthrough results find their funding eliminated, papers rejected by journals, and academic positions terminated through administrative actions that appear unrelated to their discoveries. The media contributes to suppression efforts by refusing to report on breakthrough technologies or presenting them in ways that discredit their legitimacy. Journalists investigating suppressed technologies face career sabotage, legal threats, and editorial interference that prevents accurate reporting about revolutionary innovations that could transform civilization. The 10 erased inventions we've explored represent more than fascinating historical mysteries. They're evidence of a systematic pattern that continues today, where revolutionary breakthroughs are eliminated not because they don't work, but because they work too well. From ancient Roman flexible glass to modern Starlight, the message is clear. Innovation isn't limited by scientific possibility, but by economic permission. Each suppressed technology could have transformed human civilization, eliminating scarcity, curing diseases, and solving environmental challenges that still plague us today. Instead, these solutions remain buried in classified vaults or destroyed entirely, sacrificed to protect profit margins built on artificial limitations and planned obsolescence. The greatest tragedy isn't that these technologies were lost to time or disaster. They were deliberately hidden, ensuring that human potential remains constrained while revolutionary solutions to our greatest challenges stay forever out of reach. The world we inhabit today isn't the world we could have created. It's the world that certain powers decided we were allowed to have. These stories prove that the future humanity deserves has been stolen from us, locked away to preserve the wealth and control of those who profit from our dependence. The technologies that could have created a golden age of prosperity exist, but they've been erased from history to maintain the status quo that benefits the few at the expense of everyone else.